Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Thank you for being with me here today. So I am really excited because I recently signed up for the Hip Kit Club and I have been just stalking my tracking number until it arrived. So I laughed when I saw that little flyer that came with my kit, but I am just really impressed with all of the stuff that comes in the kit here. I've never done this before. I like all these little die cut pieces. There's so many in here to choose from. Rub-ons, I haven't used those in forever, but there are some cute ones in there. Even some die cut like chipboard kind of frames, some alpha stickers, and then there is a huge collection of paper, and it is all themed by month. So this month is like around the town or something like that, and I'll just flip through them quickly here to show you. They are double-sided. I was very impressed with the thickness and the quality of the paper, and so yeah, I'm just really excited to dig into this hip kit and start creating with it. I was a big Close to My Heart fan for many, many years, and I have not been this excited about another company's products since Close to My Heart. So it also came with this inspiration piece, and so I think actually I'm going to be using that. I have the same number of photos that it shows in that top layout of my daughter when she was getting ready to move up to the intermediate building, and we went to kind of go check out her locker. And so I think that I'm going to do that as like a school layout with this collection. All right, I was noticing on here a couple of the papers had some colors that I liked. I definitely like that green arrow piece, and I like this circle pattern that's on the back side because it does pull in a lot of other colors. Love this one here, which is kind of like a light blue turquoise. I thought I would do maybe some of the neutral ones and then maybe bring in this light green and the orange as well. So these are the papers I've chosen that I think I'm going to work with, although I don't end up actually using all of them. Now, according to that sketch, it does look like it is matted on a bigger piece of cardstock. So I pulled in some sapphire cardstock from Close to My Heart. I've cut my white piece down to 11.5 by 11.5. But I'm going to go ahead and gut out this sapphire cardstock because honestly, I don't need to have all of that colored paper hidden behind the white piece. It'll reduce the bulk, and I'm pretty sure that I can use the center piece that I'm going to gut out here to mat my photos with. It should be a big enough size. So I'll just go around and gut it until I have that sapphire frame that I can layer the white cardstock over top of. And then, like I said, I'm going to use this piece that I pulled out of the center for my photos. So on the sketch, it kind of looked like they were all matted on one piece of cardstock. And so I did a little bit of math. I've got a 3x4 and a 4x6. So if I want to have 1/8 of an inch in between them, this first cut is going to be at 9 3/8. And then because again, I have a 4x6 and a 3x4, from top to bottom, it's going to be 8 inches of photos. But again, if I have 1/8 of an inch showing in between each of the, different parts, it should be 8 3/8. So, oh man, I had to do a little bit of math on summer vacation, but I managed to make it work. So, when I put all these down here, it's going to look a little something like this. Now, one thing that I did not take into consideration when I was cutting and matting my photos is that, the two on the bottom together need to equal 6 inches. And so I did have to reprint that one of my sons stuck in the locker and kind of trim that mat down just a little bit to make all of those margins work. So something to keep in mind. Another thing I realized once I had all my photos matted is that actually I think I misjudged the size of the photos on that sketch because there's a lot more room on that 12 by 12 showing, off to the side for the title and the journaling and the pattern paper behind it showing. And so I think that their photos were meant to be a little smaller than the ones I used, but that's fine. I'm just going to use the sketch as like basically a jumping off point, and I'm going to kind of turn it into my own design. So instead, I decided to cut that green arrow piece as just a strip, and then I'm going to have some thinner strips also kind of coming off to the right side of it. So a little something like this, and I'll kind of figure out the links in a little bit here, but this is the general idea. I decided to go ahead and cut some of those thinner strips into smaller pieces because really I don't need that whole piece to go behind my photo mat. I just need a little bit of it to show, and yeah, I'm going to save those little other scraps from those strips that I cut so I can use them on a different project. Okay, so I was really thrifty with my paper here. I don't know why. I never end up actually going through an entire paper pack, but I always feel like I need to save all the paper. So I was like, okay, rather than cutting another piece of this green arrow, because I want to use the circles that are on the back side, rather than cutting another strip to layer, I'm just going to cut out this little center part here that is hidden behind my photo mat. And then I can flip it over and use the circles on the back side. Ridiculous, I know. I'm sure I could have cut a 1-inch strip for myself, but you'll see here in a second what I mean. It's just basically gonna make a really elongated C shape and give me that one strip that I need. There are the circles. So that's how I'm going to do that. So it'll sit like this. I'm gonna cover that cutout with my photo mat. And then, like I said, now I've got that strip of circle pattern paper that I can use as a layer too. Now, off camera, I did do a little bit of machine stitching around the perimeter of my white cardstock piece. And so I've got that done. And I also used some toffee ink to do a little bit of ink distressing to the edges of the pattern papers before I started gluing them down. I am using my T-square ruler because, you know, since I don't have the full strip coming down the page, I need to make sure that they still line up even once I put that photo mat over the top. So I'll just take a little bit of time to adhere everything down to the base page. But that's the way that ends up looking. It's definitely different from the original sketch, but like I said, at this point, I was just kind of using it as a jumping off point. Okay, I'm ready to begin embellishing. So I was really excited to start going through all of the things that came with the kit. Like I said, the theme for this month was like around town or getting around town. It's kind of almost like a travel theme. And this is a school layout, but I still felt like there were lots of different images in here that I was able to use. I liked that adventure tag. I will put some ribbon through the hole at the top later. Because this, like I said, are some pictures here of my daughter who is moving from the elementary building up to the intermediate building. And we went one day to go practice opening her locker. Of course, we made her brother get into the locker. The kids wanted to close the door on him, and I had to be like, no, we haven't quite mastered the comm yet, so let's not actually get him stuck in a locker. That would be really embarrassing and awful. But yeah, I'm just using this travel theme for, you know, adventures as far as like moving on up in school and getting older. So I had a lot of different things here I was able to pull in. There was another little piece down there. And then I felt like I had like kind of a blank spot in this bottom corner. So I found a couple of trees in that die cut pack, and I thought that that was fine because there is a lot of green in my photos, and I kind of liked the way that cluster of trees looked down there. Then in the chipboard frames, there was one little centerpiece that said photo op, and it had this cute little camera on it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use it, but just to make sure before I stick it down, I am going to use my anti-static pouch to pull the adhesive off the back so that I can test it out, and I do end up sticking that down with some glue later. Here you can see where I've glued all of these down. Some of them have foam tape. Some of them are glued flat to the page. And then this kit also came with a couple of enamel dots in the colors that coordinate with the papers. I really liked that the dots had different shapes to them. There were hearts, stars, circles, arrows, geotags. The one thing I wasn't too happy about is that they were all basically the same size. And I like to have like different sizes kind of going for my dots. So I only ended up using 3 of them just because if there had been like maybe some smaller size circles or stars or something like that, I probably would have scattered a few more around. But I felt like because they were all similar in size that it got to be a little much. So I'm going to put that one back and just use the 3 dots in those 2 clusters there. But I still felt like I was kind of missing something. So we went back to that die cut pack and I found this little green tab, and I'm going to stick that up there at the top by my adventure tag. And then I did actually find one more tree, and I'm going to layer that over here to the left. And I don't know what it is about that tree, but pretty much as soon as I put it there, I kind of felt like this sigh of relief. And I'm like, yes, now it's working. I like how that tree kind of makes an L shape there, framing in that bottom photo. I like that it brings the green in the embellishments to all three corners. So I've got my visual triangle there, and all the points of interest. And then I'm going to put some journaling down at the bottom. I didn't end up using the alphabet stickers, even though I really wanted to. Like I said, I kind of misjudged the size of everything on that sketch, but I like the way that it ended up coming together. It's just a little bit different. And I'm going to let that adventure tag and this going places little die cut be the title for my layout. And that's it. I can't wait to keep creating because I still have a ton of stuff that I haven't even dug into in that kit yet. So stay tuned. All right, guys, thanks for watching with me. Happy crafting. See you next time.